What did we do?
The f, homie, put the fucking pipe on.
Ah, dude, fuck, no, my bad.
What up, Block fam? Welcome to today's episode where we are showing you guys how to install a Blockhead exhaust on a Harley-Davidson Milwaukee 8 Softail. Woo! So it's a pretty big deal. It's kind of announcement showing you guys. We're doing an unboxing, showing you guys everything that comes in the box. And we're going to show you how to take off the stock exhaust and get the Blockhead exhaust installed. We'll start it up, let you guys hear how it sounds. It's going to sound a little better than normal because this is a 131 on Goldzilla. Do me a huge favor, hit the like button because we installed a stock exhaust back on this bike just so we could make this video. Chris was fighting it tooth and nail.
No, I didn't fight the install. I fought having to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't want to do this.
We really didn't want to put a stock exhaust back on it, but we're doing it for you guys. So if you could do us a favor, hit the like, we'd appreciate it. Chris, for those of you that don't know, 28-year master level Harley-Davidson technician. It's 28,
going
right?
on 28. Yeah. It will be 28 later this year. Yes.
He's got a lot of really good tips and tricks on uninstalling the stock exhaust so that your motorcycle is protected, and then lots of good tips and tricks on installing the new ones. So we're gonna show you guys all of that stuff. But first things first, let's go ahead and unbox this one, show you guys exactly what comes with your brand new Blockhead exhaust. This is exactly as it'll come packaged. So for those of you that don't know, we have teamed up with Stealth. So it is Blockhead exhaust by Stealth, made right here in the US of A, actually here in Florida. So you got a little disclaimer, made in USA, a little Blockhead Stealth stencil. Open this thing.
Like that?
Yeah.
Or should we just like do the Zeus thing? I don't even know. Open sesame.
Box open, this is how it will come packaged. Bubble wrap and filler and all this good stuff.
We got some stuff. What do we got in there?
The hardware from the sounds of it. Header pipe, muffler, a couple other pieces for bracketry. So let's go ahead and do one of these. All right, here we go, guys. This is everything that should come with your Blockhead exhaust. Let's just run through this stuff real quick. So I have opted for the pie cut turnout style muffler. Then you've got your header system. This is one of the options for the badging. We'll show you guys the other ones here in just a second. So you've got the Blockhead badge welded on and the Stealth lasered. Blockhead guy sticking out of the rear header pipe, little Easter egg there. Hardware, bracket, exhaust clamp, and then a couple little extras. So we're gonna be sending you guys stickers. We have a little card in there as well to enter to win the Cardo giveaway that we do monthly. Let's go ahead and show you guys the additional badging options because that was one of those things that we wanted to offer you guys whenever we released the exhaust a while back. We also have a couple different muffler options. So I guess starting from right to left, you're going to have your pipe bomb style and then small badge on this one. So it's basically like squared up Blockhead with the Stealth underneath. And we have the lasered on Blockhead. We weren't gonna offer this one originally, but we ran a test on it and we kind of like it. So if you guys do want something like that, let us know. We have the reverse cone with the Blockhead cutout welded on by Stealth underneath. And then I don't know, if you guys want this one, we will potentially offer it. This is a longer option. And we're going to show you guys how all of these look on a Softail after we have the header pipes installed. So we'll basically bolt each one of them up so you guys can see what each looks like. So let's go ahead, get these out of the way, and we're going to work on getting the stock exhaust uninstalled. I'll hand it over to Chris.
Yay! First, we kind of should know what tools we need, or at least what we think we're gonna need. So I have some potentials over here and I have some definites. For those of you at home that have basic hand tools, these are gonna be the tools that you're gonna want. If you don't have them, I recommend picking them up. Any 1/2-inch socket will probably work, but I'm showing you the sizes that I use that make my life easy. In a 3/8 drive, you want a ratchet, whatever length you need. An extension, this is, I believe, a 6-inch extension. Then I use a long wobble quarter drive extension, 1/4-inch ratchet. I have a 1/4-inch drive 1/2-inch socket. I have a 1/4-inch drive T27. I have a 3/8 drive 1/2-inch. I have a 9/16 for the O2 sensors. Your bike may or may not have 17, depends on what model year. If yours is a 23 and up, you'll have 17 mil. So then that socket's here just in case. If you happen to have passenger pegs, you will need a T20 or a 245, and you'll need a 245 that fits the depth of this. I use a mid-length. This is a 3.5 inch or 4 inch drive T45. You may or may not need a 3/16 if you decide to take off your mufflers. I am going to show you how to remove this whole thing as one piece. So we're going to take off minimal parts and we're going to take it all off as one big chunk. You will need a 5/32 Allen. For those of you that don't know if this one's been stripped out, because they commonly are from different people, you can usually use a T25 to loosen those up if it's been rounded. Once the exhaust is off, we're going to also need some expansion pliers for the exhaust rings. Now, you can do this other ways, and when we get there, we'll talk about it, but this is what I recommend having up front. I'm also going to use a battery-powered 3/8 drive impact. You may or may not have that. You can use hand tools. If you see me using it, don't ask why. It's because I'm at this point in my career, I prefer to use that than do it by hand. There's a book way to do this, and then there's the way that I do it. You are more than welcome to look up your motorcycle online. You can find a manual on how to remove it yourself, or you can just follow what I'm going to do, and it's pretty straightforward. And like I said, we're going to do our best to take it off as one piece. I'm going to take this off first. Then I'm going to move to my flange nuts, and I'm going to loosen those. Not going to completely remove them, but I'm going to loosen them up real nice and loose. I'm going to take my side cover off so that I can access my rear O2 sensor, and I'm going to disconnect that. Then I'm going to work my way back here, and I'm going to loosen these up. I'm going to get everything loose. There's a 5/16 Allen here and a 5/16 Allen here. We're going to reach in here and we're going to loosen that Allen, and then straight below we're going to take that guy out. As we do this, this exhaust system is going to be very muffler and heavy. So for those of you that at home that have never felt the weight of one of these, they're a bit more heavy than you might realize. So if you're going to do this by yourself, expect that this is going to want to fall. I'm also going to cover with you where we're going to tape everything up. Right now I'm just giving you a general of what we're going to do, and then you're going to watch me do it. We're also going to apply some tape on frame in places. Like I said, we're going to remove this cover so it can't get scratched anyways. Anything down here that you may or may not hit on removal, we're going to tape up or put a rag. I'm just going to show you what I call hot spots for places that guys will hit things or rub things. And then, like I said, we're going to take it off. I'm probably going to make it look pretty easy. And just so you know, I just installed this, so I already know it's going to be fairly easy to come back off. Yours at home, especially if it's been on there for a long time, is not going to be just this easy, I promise. And if the Loctite's set on these and it's in there, it's not going to just come out the way mine's going to come out, but know that it will come out. All right. Let's get these out of the way. Save our bolts, and we're just going to lay that down on the floor. We don't need to take anything apart. We don't need to look at anything. Just know if you have spacers in there because you had different exhaust. If you have a stock motorcycle, these won't be 5/16, these will be T45s. For those of you that don't know, that's a T45. Now, there's two ways to achieve this. There's to get to this inner bolt here, which you can use a wobble extension. And like I said, you can get up in here next to the frame, and most of the time you can get a decent bite on that nut, but you can't always. So rather than mess around, the easiest thing to do is to remove this cover. So you'll use your T37 to remove that, and then we'll remove this. Then we're going to use our T27 again, and we're going to take this bolt out. Now, for those of you that aren't very savvy, you may or may not want to tape your fender or put a fender protector over this. We're not actually going to fully remove this. You can pick up on this and pop this out of the rubber, but I don't want you to do that because then you have to fight to get it back in. It's a pain in the butt. If you notice what I'm doing, I'm literally pushing out with the inside of my fingers, and I'm creating an air gap right there. And the reason I said get that long extension is for this reason. You put your extension in, or if you have experience like myself, put your socket on, go up, down, and go right where you need to go to get on that nut. Once you're on there, you can loosen it up and you're good to go. Went ahead and got these loose already. Now I'm going to come through, I'm going to take my cover off here, and we'll access our O2 plug, and then we'll get that disconnected, and we'll have this ready to be free. So your O2 sensor is going to be right here. You're gonna push up on the tab. Underneath here, there's a little tab I'll show you when I pull it off. So you're gonna push up on that tab right there and depress that tab in as you pull back. Once you pull it back, you'll release the connector. Now you're free to go. So for the front O2 sensor, it's gonna be the same thing. The O2 sensor will be in a different location. Yours will actually be down here on the frame. It'll be right under here. You'll access it by depressing the tab in on the side and pulling it out sideways. Since we've already relocated his for other different exhausts that we've put on here, here's the connector and this is the tab I'm talking about. So if you notice my thumb depresses the tab, you hear that click, comes right out. So now that I've got everything loose, I'm gonna take all my exhaust nuts off. And so right now, the only thing that's holding the exhaust on is the rear 2 bolts. So once we take this one out and loosen this one, the exhaust will start to, it'll want to drop just by the weight of this end. We're gonna loosen that, not completely remove it. Now we're gonna remove this one. And now I'm holding this up. And without me holding this, this gets real heavy. We're gonna shake it back and forth. And if you're real careful, like I said, I make that look real easy. You're gonna remove your O2 sensors. Do not touch them. Treat them like a halogen light bulb. Consider them just like that. You don't want to put your fingers on it. If for any reason you were to touch that, this sensor, or it were to contact oil, clean it with rubbing like isopropyl alcohol. Don't be afraid to put a lot on it. Just put it in there and then blow it out. If you have compressed air, use that to dry it out. But make sure it's completely dry before you ever try to operate it.
So for a lot of other exhaust systems out there, you might potentially have to remove the expansion rings and the exhaust flanges. But for our exhaust, they are made onto the headers. So basically they are right here. So you don't have to worry about them coming off. You don't have to worry about the rings. Just takes a step out of the process for you guys, makes it a little bit easier on you.
And spoiler alert, I'm showing this because we will be offering other designs in the future, and I already know that one of them won't come with them.
So now we are on to the installation process of the Blockhead exhaust. So this is the setup we're going with. As you guys know, I'm a fan of the turnout. You don't know, I'm a fan of the turnout.
Yeah. You won't do anything but the turnout.
But we know there's people out there that do like the other options, hence why we give you guys multiple muffler options. So
hence,
you choose your favorite, and that's what you'll get in your box.
Word of the hour, hence.
Hence.
They leave the word hence in the comments. We'll go through and we'll pick one person that put hence in the comments, and we're gonna sign a t-shirt and we're gonna mail it to your house.
And we'll send you stickers and a Joe Dirty Bike Blockhead detailing kit.
Oh, he's just upping it up. And there's more. But wait, there's more.
No, that's it. That's all I get. Leave the word.
That was anticlimactic.
leave the word hence in the comments, and we're gonna randomly select one.
Yeah, but you have to put hence. Don't put any other stupid stuff. All right.
Hardware, exhaust clamp, bracket. I'm gonna hand it back over to Chris, and he's gonna show you guys how to install this thing.
I'm gonna do this for you guys. This is not something I would normally do. Would never hit this, but you know, I realize that everybody is not me, and I have seen where people have hit things, and I'm just thinking like, how in the hell did you do that? So my advice to you would be, if you think at all that you may make contact with it, just put tape over it ahead of time. Just get it out of the way. So right here, see this little nick? You know what that's from? That's from the big O2 sensor that goes in when we tune, but you could nick that with a small O2 sensor if you weren't thinking and you were shoving it around. So either put a rag there or put some tape on it. Just get it out of the way now, and that way you don't have to worry. Know that one of the first things you're going to want to do is put your reducers in. If you have anti-seize at home, use some anti-seize. If you don't, I suggest you get some. If you put those in without anti-seize, and then you do need to get it tuned for any reason, you may create hell for that guy that has to remove them to tune, and they're not going to like you very much, and you might get the asshole upcharge. So rather than getting that, let's just go ahead and take care of that now. It's also going to save you. If you make a mistake and for some reason have to undo the work that you did, it's going to help you as well.
For those of you that don't know what anti-seize is, in the name, keeps the threads from seizing inside of the pipe, because there's going to be a lot of heat expansion contraction going on in here, so you'll be able to basically take them out later down the road without them having seized. I will be sure to drop a link down in the description below to some. You can scoop it up off of Amazon if you guys don't have any. Yeah, check the links down in the description below for everything that you need. I'll link through to all the tools, everything that you need for the job. Links below.
7/8 open end wrench. You're gonna put it on the 2 flats, and you're gonna just tighten it literally as much as you can go. Good luck getting a torque spec on it, but you want to snug it down. As you notice, I just snugged it down holding. I realized my pull pressure and your pull pressure might be 2 different things. So if I really had to guess, that's probably 15 foot-pounds tops. You want to just crush the washer in there. You don't want to reef it down, guys. Don't put all your body weight, put your foot on it, and don't do that. It's bad. You'll rip the threads, you'll muck it up. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the anti-seize on our O2 sensors. Remember what I said before about this sensor? Think of that as a halogen bulb, so you definitely don't want to touch that. You just want to be careful to get enough anti-seize on the thread there. You don't need a ton. You don't need to coat all of it, but just get a little bit on there and go ahead and insert those as well. There is a torque spec in the book for that. Don't ask me what it is. Look it up. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Might be 122 to 144, could be 12 to 14, I don't really know. There can be mistakes here, so we don't always end up with happy little trees. Just don't touch it and don't get the anti-seize on the end of the sensor. Please don't put your anti-seize in there on the thread first and then try to thread your sensor in, because if you were to bump the side, you'll get the anti-seize on the sensor without even potentially knowing it, and you're gonna burn it out. And then you'll have to buy a new one. Not overly tight. I don't know the torque spec again, but I can't imagine it being more than 12 foot-pounds tops. I might advise you tape this as well to keep this from rattling around on your pipe, because it is metal to metal, so it can and it will potentially leave scratches. If you're smart, fold yourself a little piece so it makes it real easy to grab when it's time to pull it back off. And make sure you put it in a location that you can access. Don't put it on the back side, because then you're gonna struggle getting it off.
Also seen the same thing done with zip ties. So if you guys want to put a zip tie around it, but then you need to be able to nip it off. So
yeah, either way, whatever works. Bread ties, different kind of tape, honestly, doesn't matter. Whatever floats your boat. If all you got is your daughter's hair tie, believe me, that has worked in the past. I can speak from first-hand knowledge there. Okay, so now before we mount our headers, we're going to want to remove our exhaust gaskets, and in this case we have flat ones, very skinny flat ones. That's because of the exhaust system we had on before. That's what it used. With our exhaust, you'll want to use the tapered or stock style gasket. The reason is, if you look at our flanges, they're tapered to fit these gaskets. See how that fits on there? And if you use the flat ones, you may or may not get a good seal. So the recommendation is to use the tapered gaskets.
to remove the exhaust gaskets, you guys would want to use like a pick. They might pull out into pieces, especially if you've got a lot of mileage on them. But one thing to note, be careful like while you're using a pick. You don't want to go into the actual head. It is made out of aluminum, so you can potentially mar it, but once you go through the gasket, you will feel if you're starting to hit like that harder surface. But basically go around there, hopefully it'll pull right out. If not, you might have to work at it a little bit.
So we're gonna do our best to put this in straight. Now, like I said, do your best is the key statement, because you're gonna watch me potentially struggle here. This is normal. I don't care how many years you've been doing it, most of us struggle a little bit. There we go. Now I did just do that in front of you with my hand. I did make that look easy, I realize that. A lot of times these fight you and they're not fun and they get frustrating, and you can potentially damage these during install. If you happen to do that, don't feel like you're alone. You're just part of the club now.
No.
Okay? So be prepared. You may want to get extras.
I usually buy 3.
I'm just being honest with you people at home. Especially if you've never done it, your good chances of screwing up the first one are pretty doggone good.
Yeah.
Now you figure that out and then you won't screw up the next ones.
If you guys are having trouble getting them seated in to where they're level and flush with the head, trick, you do need to be very careful with this trick. So basically, whenever you get it seated, if it's still sticking out, you can take that exhaust flange that you took off of the stock one and you can actually put it in backwards. So as you see, this side has a recess. If you put it in this way and then you evenly tighten on both sides, it'll slowly snug that into the head. That's, if you guys are having difficulty with it, it's one of the things I've done in the past. It seems to work, but be very careful. You can crush it. Don't think we mentioned it, but I think it goes without saying. But so the thicker non-tapered side goes in towards the head.
I didn't even say
and
it.
The smaller side, the thinner side, goes out. So basically you'll be able to get this as it tapers in into the shorter or smaller taper on the side.
All right, so see, that's done. Now when I use two hands, it's much easier. But that one's in, and yeah, same thing. Taper out. What did we do? The homie, put the fucking pipe on. Ah, dude, fuck, no, my bad. Now that we gotta put the pipe on. Thanks, bro. Yeah, dude. I don't know how to preface this, guys, because some guys think you should go front first, rear. Some guys think you should go rear, front. Personally, I'm gonna do the same, both at the same time. So if you just take it, kind of pull the pipe up at kind of an angle, we're gonna come in under the header, we're gonna go up, and then we're just gonna lay it in like that. And that's all we gotta do. And if you notice, this little flange will line up, and then I screw my nuts on. I make sure that my nuts are only hand tight. We don't want them over tight right now. All right, and then the same thing in the front. We're just gonna line up our flanges, because you know it's virtually impossible to get it right by yourself the first time. I'm gonna use my fingers and go over the top here. Now, if you don't have all this dexterity in your fingers to finagle your nuts around, up and around hoses, maybe come in from a different angle with a different hand position and finger your nut this way.
If you guys really aren't comfortable doing this, we do offer it as a service here at Blockhead Garage. Head over to blockheadgarage.com, fill out the form, book service with us, and Chris, the master technician, will handle your nuts for you.
I'll put my dexterity all over your nuts. My finger dexterity.
All right, so now we're getting the bracketry.
Oh, my bad, guys. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm not going to give you a play-by-play. Obviously, I'm hooking the bracket up here before I go much further. If you notice, this kind of, you'll hear it. It's actually making contact with the clutch release cover. So if you don't want that, just throw a towel in there. Put some tape on there. I'm going to use an impact. If you have one at home, God bless your heart. If you don't, use your hands. For those of you that are wondering, no, I don't always trust my impact, so I'm gonna just go ahead and put a little more behind that. Tick, tick. That was my torque wrench.
So after mounting your bracket, you've got your hardware kit that we send to you guys. This is what you're gonna have. Now you might have some extra hardware. It's because we use the same kind of little hardware pack for multiple different models. For the Softail, you're gonna need a bolt and a nut and a washer, which will go into here, through the back of here, which Chris is going to show you right now.
All right, so then we'll put your clamp on, slide this guy together. About up to the weld point, because you just can't go past the weld point. But you could also, if you want to leave it longer, you can. There's a lot of adjustment here, guys. So if you look at the length, the overall length is about here. I have been able to cheat this. If you pull this back, you can almost get this tip to the axle. You can get right about here. So there's a ton, you know, it's like an inch and a half movement there, if anybody's curious.
Before we get to snugging the final part down, so this is the muffler option that I'm going with. Like I said, we're going to offer a couple different options, different badging. So this is one of them. This is the turnout. We're also going to offer this one.
I don't mind it.
We've really been debating on this one. Let us know down in the comments section below what you guys think of it, of us offering the axle length essentially as an option.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice, kind of subtle.
It's not as aggressive.
No.
I mean, it's just as aggressive, but it doesn't sound overly aggressive.
Yeah, with the side exit, it's much louder, which you guys will see here in just a minute. All right, that's what this one looks like, which is the what we call the pipe bomb, and this has the minimal Blockhead logo by Stealth on it. Much louder than the last one. Big fan visually. It's a lot louder though. And we got reverse cone, so that's what that one looks like.
Might as well, you've been doing it.
Louder as well.
Yeah, much louder.
Yeah, I think that's the loudest of them.
Much more aggressive to the ears.
All right, so good hack for this. If you're a one-person job and you don't have somebody else to like hold, you know, some pliers to hold this nut in there for you, which that's one way of doing it. Take a wrench, taper, boop, boop. So it holds the nut in there. You're gonna take the bolt, run it through the back of the bracket while putting that wrench with the nut through. You're gonna kind of want to get at this angle right here. Use your finger dexterity to thread that bolt into that nut.
Push it until it clicks. We're gonna move on with tape removal. At this point, this should be the only thing left loose in your flange.
So we went ahead and tightened the exhaust clamp here, and we are tightening the bolt and the nut on the bracketry to the exhaust hanger. So installed, we're gonna go ahead and wipe her down. You can use brake clean, clean up the headers, clean up the muffler, or rubbing alcohol. Yep. Make sure you're using a clean cloth that doesn't have anything on it. You don't want to scratch it up or anything like that. Make sure you get all those oils from your hands off of it, and then you can start it up.
Ooh la la.
All right, so there you go. Let's go ahead and start it up, see what it sounds like. So just so you guys know what to expect next. So you have a stainless or polished exhaust. So essentially what's gonna happen now, as you run the bike, it's gonna start to burn in, what we call burn in. So it's gonna start getting nice and gold. You can kind of see it on the front header a little bit, it's changing color. Also, with a freshly installed exhaust, whenever you do first start it and it gets up to temp, it is going to smoke. So there's gonna be like some smoke coming off of it, which is just like the initial like manufacturing stuff kind of coming off. Your bike is not on fire, do not panic. Just enjoy the exhaust. Beyond that, if you're doing just an exhaust, we did a video, do you need to tune it? Not necessarily. If you do, you will get added benefits from it, better throttle response, stuff like that. But be sure to go check out that video if you have any questions on it. It's very in-depth. If you do a stage 2, absolutely you have to tune. So cams, you can do a tune for a stage 1. If you're doing stage 3 or 4, definitely tune with a new exhaust as well. So we are going to be tuning a stage 4 with this exhaust, and we'll be sure to show you guys power numbers in a separate video, but that's pretty much the installation process. You guys be sure to do me a favor, go give him a follow at Sick Wide Glide. Tell him how cool his custom hat is, one of one. If you guys do have any questions on the exhaust, drop them down in the comments below and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as we can. If you guys are looking to order, link down in the description below. A couple different muffler options. So that is the turnout, the reverse cone, the pipe bomb, and I don't even know what we're calling this. Full length, mid length. And then you do have different badging options. So this would be the full badge by Stealth. This is the smaller, more subtle badge by Stealth. We do have that one as well, which I don't know if we'll offer it or not. If you guys want it, let us know. Thank you guys for watching. If you did purchase the pipe and you are here for the installation process, I hope your installation went smoothly. Enjoy the pipe. Big thanks for y'all's support. Really appreciate it. There you go.
Leave hence in the comments.
Hence. Don't forget, hence.
Hence is word of the hour.
That's right.
It's
All right.
word of the hour.
Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.
Have a good evening, or good morning, or good night, wherever the hell you're at.